already noticed the echoes of the drums and also the ancient instruments. I believe that this festive theme is heading towards our side. Yes, exactly. Our touristic area has prepared for everyone this parade to celebrate the new year. For the whole festive theme, we have different sections of composition. For example, the first part is the lion dance. You know that we have this very long tradition of celebration of all kinds of festivals by this dance of lions. And later on, we have a second section for this team for the performances. It's called a floral boat, and it's not a boat used for the traveling and navigation in the real rivers, but it's for the continental performances. Our performance will carry this flower decorated boat to give us a wonderful performance. As we can notice here, we have a lot of people in the crowd and also the performers. They are showing to everyone their bad status of the celebration. We have just witnessed the section of the dragon and lion dances passing by, and is followed by the team performing the floral boat, and it ends with the third section, people holding the bamboo sticks called the lian xiao in the local language. And today when I come to your back street area for sightseeing, I've also noticed a lot of interesting boutiques and shops. For example, I've noticed this one very well decorated. And moments ago, I've also noticed another one in the shape of the floral lanterns. Yes, exactly. We have combined the two different items together, and they have shown together a very interesting shape and form. Mr. Zhu, he's the designer of this whole workshop of the colorful lanterns. So maybe you can say hi and also send your best wishes to everyone. Happy Lunar Chinese New Year. I know that you are the chief designer for this workshop. So how come you have this idea of decorate the whole boutique, this kiosk in the shape of the lantern? We know that the lanterns are often used during the celebration of festivals. We use vivid colors like the orange and also the red. We light up the lanterns so that we can better celebrate the festival. We want to usher in the new hope and also a lot of best wishes. We have decided to establish this kind of lanterns. And you know that in the past, people also have by the riverside those posts for the rest and poses of our boats. So we have decided to combine the two different shapes. So as I can understand, you have used the forms of the lanterns to decorate the kiosks by the side of the street and also the roads. Yes, exactly. We have actually combined a traditionally famous technique with the modern architecture. Apart from the decoration of this installation of this monument, we have also implied this technique into the design of the smaller items. For example, the souvenirs here, all of the products are made by our side. For example, we have these smaller objects in shape of the lanterns. We have used materials like the tissue, the silk, and also the wood. You can hold the lantern by its handle. This one is made of wood. The structure is in pure wood. People can come to get one as a souvenir or as a very cute gift for their children in the house. And we also have some semi-finished products, so people can buy all the materials back home and they can start to set up the whole lantern by themselves. This is a very interesting process of DIY. And when we look at the whole look of these products, it's very interesting for us to see. And people can also come nearby this kiosk for some shopping, and they can also take some photos here. People can have the festive shopping here because we know that around these days, people always want a lot of happy items and interesting decorations to take home. And people can spend a lot of happy hours here with their children. We also hope that you can sell a lot of interesting items. Thank you very much. We have a lot of dedicated shops around here. And according to our designer, we have embedded the traditional techniques of fabrication and manufacturing into the modern times. This is a very clever idea. And there's a place called Ciqikou nearby, and it's also very famous for its fabrication of the lanterns in paper and also in other materials. I've noticed that to my left-hand side, there are shops for embroidery. For example, the old masters, they are performing the techniques for the embroidery. Yes, it's also one important highlight of our backstreet area. If you would like to know more about this art, we can go inside the shop. So, madam, you are a very famous master for the embroidery of the Shu area, the southern western area of China. And we have noticed a lot of symbols like the tiger because it's the year of tiger. So what is so special about this pattern? Using this pattern of the tiger, we would like to wish a lot of tiger-like energy to people so that they can have a happy year of tiger. What about this tiger? It's in the orange and yellow color. This is a pattern traditionally used. This is a tiger climbing up the mountain, meaning that you can also climb up the ladder in your career and also in your undertakings. To the other side, we can notice a tiger in another color. It's in a more silver-like color. You can put it on the wall of your house. It will give you a very good vibe in a house, a very peaceful ambience. I think is very vivid image. It seems like you have a real tiger by your side. I believe it will be a wonderful choice if you would like to give a gift to your family members or to your relatives. There's also difference between different colors of the tiger. For a silver color tiger, it's more peaceful and it's less ferocious, and for this one, the yellow color, it's more powerful and it will give you a stronger feeling. So it's highly recommended that you put that one of the silver color on the walls of your house. I'm not an expert of the embroidery. Could you please, madam, tell us the difference between the techniques of embroidery in your region and the other region's embroidery? Yes, of course. You know that the cross pattern embroidery, it's totally different from what I practice here. So maybe you can give us some stitches of examples. For example, here I have a very freestyle stitching of the needle because I'm doing this part of the grassland. You can see the overlapping lines and the crossing lines. In this case, you can distinguish one piece of the grass from another. The herbs are very obvious to see. And for the cross pattern embroidery, it's actually a introduced technique from Western countries. We use the cotton lines, and here in the traditional embroidery in our country, we use the silk-based tissues and also the lines. So I would like to touch the pattern myself. You can feel the texture is very soft. Is it hard to practice the shu embroidery? So you can also have a try yourself. So could you please give me some instructions? What can I do? For example, you can first of all try to pull the needle towards the upside. And then if you want to do another round of the stitch, you try to cover this line. And then you pull it. In the meantime, there is another round, so you have to stick the needle upward again. And repeatedly, you try to cover the other existing line. And for the next round, we will try to avoid this direction and try to move a little bit towards the right-hand side. In that case, we can diversify a little bit the color and also the total look of this grassland. So you try to form an angle of 15 degrees. So I just completed 2 rounds of the stitches with the needle. So the part I'm engaged with is the tiny portion of the grassland in this picture of the yellow tiger climbing up the mountain. So if I would like to take a pause here, where could I put the needle? So just put it there. Thank you very much for teaching me so much about the shu embroidery. I also wish you a wonderful career this year and a lot of good works. And Mr. Shi, I'm so happy that I can have my try on that embroidery work. And I can also feel the peaceful ambience here. If you can put your hands on this needle and have several rounds of the stitches, immediately it can calm you down. According to the requirements of the visitors and also the residents here, we are upgrading our touristic area, try to renovate the whole area and also pass from one generation to another the traditional techniques and also the art-related maneuvers. Just now, we have introduced to our viewers the beautiful kiosks, the shops, and also embroidery techniques. We have also admired together the beautiful works of the needles and tissues and also the lanterns. All of them are beautiful symbols of the traditional Chinese culture. I've also noticed that we have a lot of young people coming to this area. I believe that they are attracted by these traditional techniques. Yes, indeed, more and more younger generation and youngsters, they come to have some sightseeing in our area. I can hear more music and sounds over there. It's the dragon dance. You know, the dragon dance is also a very important part of the traditional Chinese culture. And dragon is a traditional cultural symbol that we are all very proud of. To complete the performance of one dragon dance, you need at least 5 people. Every year, whether it's the year of dragon or not, we will still get the dragon on stage because dragon is always the symbol of happiness and good luck for Chinese people. And we all like it. It's a very popular activity during the celebration. As you can see that we have a big crowd waiting there and they are holding their cameras to capture this wonderful moment of dragon show. Every day we arrange 2 rounds of performance of the dragon dance by 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. And from the first day till the 6th day of the Lunar New Year, we can expect to see this dragon dance every day. We also have this mobile stands. People can do the DIY. They can write the couplets themselves, and they can also do some paper cutting. You can see that people are writing the couplets themselves. And this lady is wearing a very beautiful costume. It's from the Han Dynasty. And in one side of our street, you can also find shops selling the costumes from the Han Dynasty. Writing the couplets is an activity of long history in our country. Every year, by the celebration of the New Year, we will write a new pair of couplets. And here we can find another stand for the paper cutting. You can have a try yourself. I've never had my hands on this activity in the past. In the past, it used to be my grandparents who would do the paper cutting. Hi, could you please show me some tips? First of all, you can try to fold the paper. This is a finished product. The finished work by the previous visitors. So we have already the pattern printed. You will just cut along the lines. In the end, you can see a Chinese character meaning the spring or the spring festival. This is also a very popular activity during the celebration moment. Immediately, this practice brings me back to the old days when I was still in middle school. By then, we were cutting papers together. And here in the Ciqikou ancient town sightseeing areas, we have temporarily arranged those mobile stands so that we are creating and strengthening the vibes of the celebration for the Lunar New Year here. More people can have some personal experience with the activities. At the same time, the music is going on and the dragon dance is still on the stage, and I can feel that the whole ambience is so pleasant. And for my part, I'm about to finish this paper cutting. I'm about to finish my first work of this paper cutting. And later on, we can put it on the glass of the window to decorate the house. I would like to bring this back to my house and show it off to my family members, and I would tell them that this is purely handmade. I did that in a Ciqikou ancient town. So still, I have to complete this later on because for the lower part, I have to continue with some further cutting. What about the next stand? We have the sugar painting. So this is also a souvenir from our childhood. What are you doing now? Sir, I'm doing the sugar painting in a pattern of dragon. So as is mentioned before, dragon is the symbol of the New Year and is also for the happiness and good luck. And another stand for the presentation of the shoe embroidery, another famous master for this practice. For this area of the back street, you have a diversity of activities present here. We work under the guidance of the local government. We would like to pass the traditional culture and techniques from one generation to another. And this old street is actually the ancient part or the ancient side of this Ciqikou town. And today there's the seamless connection from the back street to the old street. It's actually all in one. And in today's back street, it's a kind of upgrading and extension on the basis of the ancient part of that old street. In the future, for our touristic area, we're about to combine the new area and the old area. It's also one of our practices to do the urban renewal. And here we can notice that you have fully embedded the traditional Chinese culture and also some symbols. We are doing this systematic upgrading of the whole area. In the future, we're about to embrace the opening of more shops. Already, we have introduced a lot of famous brands. For example, the Library of Sanlian. We introduced that brand from Shanghai. And we also have hotels, so people can be very well accommodated here. You can try to have some staycation here. It's a totally different way for you to have some feelings of the celebration. And over there, you can see a group of beautiful ladies performing the traditional dances. So, Mr. Xi, could you please give us more details about this performance? Yes, of course, the dancers, they are dressed in traditional costumes. And this is a square surrounded by the local traditional beadings. This is a cultural IP spot. On a regular basis, we have performers in this kind. They are dressed totally in the traditional clothes and costumes. They give the old-style dances to please our tourists and visitors. And this dance is, of course, accompanied by the traditional Chinese musical instruments. For example, the two-string musical instrument and also the pipa, a four-stringed instrument. And for this whole square surrounded by the beadings, together they are forming a courtyard. What is the style of this courtyard? I think it's very interesting. Because in ancient times, usually in this hilly area, we can build the architecture and houses according to the landscape of the mountains. We also have the roof of the buildings in lifted corners. All those are the symbols of the wisdom of our ancient people. And we added some modern creatures. Every week by the weekend, owners of the shops selling traditional clothes, they would come to this area and give very interesting performances to our audience here. And that is very lovely because we have this very long culture of clothes and also dancing and musical performance. And today we can still try to relive this experience and everyone can have some personal experience of it. We also have a tea house here and also an opera house here. Every day we have like 4 different performances, so you can try to have your sip of tea and you can sit down and enjoy the performance of the opera. Inside this opera house, you can enjoy very famous performances, for example, the changing faces, and also the stories related to the Monkey King. Yes, reading all those posters, I can find the names of the performance available today inside the Opera House. It's really a relaxing moment for people to have the chance to be seated and also have a cup of tea. So maybe we can also have a try. Yes, of course. So today I'm with our special guide of the day, Mr. Xi, and I'm about to have a try myself how it feels like to have the tea of the local place. So Mr. Xi, could you please give us some more details about the taste of this tea? As you can see that we have a small plate holding the cup of the tea, and also we have a cover for this cup. And we have also a long procedure for the preparation and making of the tea. First of all, you have to clean and cleanse the whole set of the cups. And then you pour the hot water inside the cup. And the third step is that you can try to smell the fragrance of the tea, and finally you can have the taste yourself. And for the cleaning part, because it's already there, it's ready, it's completed, so I can directly proceed to the second step, the pouring of the hot water inside the cup. And now I try to lift the plate and smell the fragrance of the tea. And this cup of tea covered as one of the most popular tradition of our people in this Chongqing municipality. And towards the end of today's live streaming program, I'd like to use this cup of tea to wish you a lot of happiness in the new year of Tiger.